Have you ever had a friend or a family member or a partner who uses the silent treatment or changes the pattern in which they communicate with you as far as the frequency, the tone, anything that just kind of switches up that pattern, or just using the silent treatment as a means to manipulate you, control you, or punish you? If you have, then this video is going to give you some ideas on how to deal with that type of behavior. I want to set the stage by saying that I am talking about someone who is using withdrawing and disengaging and silent treatment as a means of manipulation and control. I'm not speaking about someone who is asking for healthy space. These are two different things. Typically, when somebody just needs a healthy distance, they will communicate that with you. You will know because it feels different. The reason why people will punish you by the silent treatment is because by punishing you, they avoid accountability. I'm going to give you an example of this. I have a family member who will typically call me like every day or every other day. It's usually them reaching out to me because I'm so busy. I have to be honest. I'm hardly ever the one who reaches out to somebody else consistently all the time. I have one person in my life that I probably will say I initiate communication with them consistently all the time. And the reason that is because this is a friend of mine. We have so much in common. Our worlds intersect so much that there is a reason to talk every day. We work together. She's one of my closest friends, and we both are interested in business and content creation. So with all those things going on, there's always something we got to say to each other. So that person I'll reach out to. But for the most part, I'm not that good at initiating contact with people. But this person will call me every single day because they have a problem, they need someone to listen to them, they want to vent, they need an idea, they want to run something by someone, they want some solutions. This person never would stop and say, "Hey, how are you doing today? What's going on with you?" They never were interested in what was going on with me or how I was doing. In fact, if I would push through and stay on the phone with this person and it sounded like I was a little bit down, they would say things like, "Oh, you don't have the energy I need you to have right now. Can you please pull yourself together so that I can talk to you about what I need to talk to you about?" And because I'm still trying to work on the people-pleasing behaviors that I have, and it's sometimes just such an automatic thing, most of the time I'll be like, all right, okay, what's going on now? And I would just snap into being whatever they needed me to be. Well, this one particular time, when the person called me and I could see that they were needing to complain about their life, or it was going to be all about them again, and I just needed to be on the other end of that phone to emotionally regulate them. And I was not in the space for that. And I said to this person, "Hey, I am going through some things on my own right now, and I have some things going on in my life that I am trying to resolve, and it's time sensitive. So I can't be here at this time for right now, but is there a time we could talk later, or I can check on you?" And this person got upset with me and gave me the silent treatment. They just stopped calling. So after a few days, I reached out to them and I said, "Hey, is there anything that I've done, or can we talk? Is there something going on that you want to talk to me about? Do we need to have a conversation?" And they were like, "Nope." Then I hear from another family member that this person's mad at me and they're not talking to me, that I'm cut off. And the thing is, this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened before for similar reasons, so I already knew what it was about. When you recognize that this is happening, being aware of the pattern. Is there a pattern? Does this happen frequently? Is this person giving you the silent treatment anytime you disappoint them, or you can't show up for them the way they're asking you to at that time for whatever reason? Anytime you're saying no, anytime you're having to exercise personal boundaries, is that when this person goes silent or changes their behavior towards you? That's what you have to look at and recognize for yourself. Is this a one-off? Maybe something's going on with this person, or is this their way of interacting with you so that they can control and manipulate you and somehow get you to behave the way they want you to behave, versus allowing you to be your own person and respecting that you have the right to make decisions for yourself and choices for yourself that you need to make to preserve your own well-being. Another thing to recognize, which is specifically in the scenario that I just explained, is how do you feel when you're not available and accessible to this person all the time? How do you feel when they are punishing you with the silent treatment? In my case, I did notice that whenever I was being punished with the silent treatment, that I felt better. Typically, there are other covert negative behaviors that this person has, and they also carry a certain energy about them. So when you're talking to them every day, it impacts your mood. A person who uses the silent treatment to manipulate and control you is not a well person. So chances are that is not the only maladaptive behavior you're experiencing. Chances are by allowing them frequent access to you, you're also being exposed to other negative behaviors. It does have an impact on you whether you realize it or not, and you will notice when they're punishing you with this silent treatment, you feel a little bit better during that punishment. What do you do when this person tries to re-engage with you? Eventually, they're going to re-engage you because they were the one benefiting from the relationship in the first place. They were the one using you for emotional support. They were the one ciphering your good energy in these conversations all the time. First thing you want to do is assess their motives. Is this a genuine attempt to reconnect, or is this just another part of their push-pull cycle? Let's just say maybe they recognize they were wrong in how they behaved. Maybe during this little bit of time, this person has had time to mature, develop, or had some type of aha moment or moment of self-growth, and they are attempting to change their behavior and preserve the relationship. And you will know this when they attempt to re-engage, because they will take some form of responsibility for the way they showed up in your last interaction, or how they responded to you setting a boundary or having your own needs. They will acknowledge that, and they may take some form of accountability and apologize for how they've been treating you. That is something that you should see up front. If they just try to re-engage out of nowhere and just go wherever they left off, or if they are re-engaging because they need something from you, then you'll know that right away, because they're going to probably very quickly go into whatever their problem is or whatever their need is. The second thing you're going to do is set the tone. If you choose to engage, establish healthier habits. Don't immediately resume to old habits. You may not always be available when they call. Start establishing a new way of relating to this person. The third thing you're going to do is be clear about those boundaries. If you've enjoyed the space, be intentional about maintaining the balance that feels right for you. This looks like communicating your boundaries. Saying something like, I know before we had this space from each other, we were talking maybe on an everyday basis. That may not work for me anymore. So I'm here for you, but I may not be able to answer every phone call. And if I can't answer that phone call, I'll call you back at a time that's good for me. And if that's not good, and if it's not good for you, you can just let me know and we'll just catch up when we can. The next thing I want to talk about is when someone is giving you the silent treatment, should you be the bigger person and reach out and try to engage with them first? I see this come up so much. I hear it, I see it in comment sections when people are discussing on this topic, and I almost always hear Be the bigger person. You have the emotional maturity. You can re-engage. You could talk to them first. And I've even had a therapist try to encourage me to be the bigger person. So I want to talk about this because I think this bigger person message can sometimes be harmful for your own personal well-being and self-respect. If their silence is a power play, then you being the bigger person just reinforces their toxic pattern. Disengaging is perfectly acceptable and is a form of your own self-respect. Distance does not mean hate. Distance does not mean retaliation. Distance can very well mean you choosing peace over dysfunction, self-care and self-respect over dysfunction and being mistreated by people who are habitually abusing you and mistreating you. Finally, sometimes it's time to accept that this relationship needs to end. And unfortunately, that can be a family member, a sibling, or a partner, even an adult child of yours. Sometimes the relationship just cannot continue when someone is using these behaviors as a way to relate to you. It's just not acceptable. And by you allowing it, you are enabling this behavior. You're reinforcing it. And it's not giving them the opportunity to self-reflect and grow within themselves. So you think that you're helping this person by being around and just allowing it to continue and just trying to do the best you can with them, but you're not helping them. What you're doing is you're disrupting an opportunity for them to grow and recognize their behavior is not helping their relationships. Sometimes it's time to just let that relationship go. And if that person shows up in your life again with a different behavior and different ways of relating, then you can open the door again. Ask yourself, how is this relationship serving me? What is making me feel that I'm obligated to continue to allow someone to treat me this way and keep leaving the door open for them to come in and out of my life and just treat me in ways that are harmful for me? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not obligated. It's time for people to grow up. People like to use the excuse of maybe you're a little bit ahead of them emotionally. You have no obligation to accept dysfunctional behavior that is habitual in your life. You can love someone from a distance and you can disengage for someone and give them an opportunity. Give them some space. And give them some time to grow up. That is caring for them. Because people need to grow up out here in these streets. I just want to encourage mental health over dysfunction. Emotional well-being and health over forced relationships. A lot of the pain we experience in our lives is feeling obligated and forced to continue to be in relation with someone who is harmful to us emotionally. And you don't have to do that. It is okay to choose yourself. So if anyone has any commentary or any other ideas or experiences that they've had or methods that they've used to help them deal with a person that exhibits these types of behaviors, I love to read your comments and interact with you guys in the comment section. So I hope everyone has a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.